Alright, YouTube, it's Mr. Mean coming at you this Friday afternoon from very sunny Beaumont, Texas. I'm loving it. The weather is gorgeous. It's hot as shit. I don't like that. I'm a polar bear. My house is set at 73 constantly, year-round. My wife likes it cold, too, so it works out. And the baby apparently loves it because he got overheated today at daycare, and they didn't know what to do, so they cooled him off, and he was fine. So life is good. So anyway, it is Friday, June 9th. It is wonderful. Got off work a little early. Got home. It's 4 o'clock now, so life is good. We've picked up the baby. We've run our little errands. So what do? We make a video. That's what we do. So Mr. Mean coming at you again. It's a great weekend. 1 week away from Free RPG Day. I'm going to plug that again. I will be in Humboldt, Texas next weekend at Etten Games, right off of FM 1690, I believe it is. But just Google it. If you check the various, I think on the Conan G+, Google Plus group, there is a link up there I put up there because I did a video du jour the other day, Wednesday, and I posted on there about that I would be running Conan, An Age Undreamed Of, because I'm all set for it. But today's video du jour is something that I found recently, and I've seen a couple video reviews, and they're short and succinct, which I like, because I have a short attention span. I'm not very smart. Big, but kind of dumb. But I really like them, and so I wanted to do my own just to throw it out there. So my subscribers, that's you guys. If you're into the OSR, the old school role playing, or original source role play, whatever it stands for, there's a company out there called Barrel Rider Groves. Man, it might help if I know it. It's James Spahn, Spahn, and it's his company, but it's Barrel Rider Games. He uses a funny little font, and so it's hard to read. But what I wanted to go over today is White Star. I briefly mentioned it in my video du jour video on Wednesday, but I wanted to go into a little more in depth because today in the mail was waiting for me was the companion. So this opens up some more options and a bunch of stuff. So we're going to go through these real quick. Nothing fancy, you know me. What can I say, man? I dig sci-fi. I'm a huge sci-fi fan of any, like Star Wars. The new Fantasy Flight Star Wars is a blast. I was running a Edge of the Empire or Force and Destiny game, and my buddy that's in the game, or I was running an Edge of the Empire. I was running them the Jewel of Yavin adventure, and it was going quite well. But he wanted to run a Force and Destiny game, and I was really of the mindset that I really want to play. I'm tired of GMing. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to adjust my camera here. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy GMing, but I want to play Star Wars. I don't want to GM it. I really don't have any desire to GM it. I mean, it's cool and everything. I like making up my own stories and running scenarios and stuff. But that's just a game I want to play. And there's very few games out there that I'm like, I want to play this game. And that's one of them. And Mutant Chronicles is another one, but I have this certain view of Mutant Chronicles, and if you don't match that view, then it's all wrong. And that's typical of most GMs. They have a mindset or a vision of what the world should look like, and if you don't meet or exceed that vision, then it's all wrong. And that's how you know you're a GM. Or you could be an asshole, which I fall into both categories, so who knows. But it's I have a certain worldview, an opinion of Mutant Chronicles. I've been in it so long. I feel very intimate with the setting. I know it quite well. And Modiphius did not really change it a whole lot from what Heartbreaker Hobbies had, or Target Games AB back in the day when they held the license. So they stayed true to the source material. They have added some stuff. They have changed a couple things, but I think all for the better. And the product line is doing well from Modiphius, and I'm excited to see that. But again, this is not a review for Mutant Chronicles. This is a review for White Star. So we're going to get off that horse, and we're going to get on this horse. Because, see, I'm all over. I'm crazy. You can't stop me. You guys don't own me. Well, okay, maybe a little bit, because if you unsubscribe, I'd be hurt and Mr. Mean would cry, and you don't want to see that. But anyway, the white box science fiction role-playing game, White Star. Small books. They're up on DriveThru RPG right now. Pay what you want, I think. So, I mean, they're dirt cheap. I mean, you have no excuse I'm sorry, I hit the microphone. No excuse to not get them for what you want. And get them hardback if you can, because they're actually done really well. They're print on demand. There's book 1 and book 2. You get a little 2 down there. James Spahn, if you're listening to this or you watch it, dude, awesome work. Simple, to the point, fun, not a ton of rules get in your way. Well written, pretty clear. The clarity is there. I had a couple of little questions, but the White Star G Plus group stepped right up to the plate and helped me out. I ran a quick demo of the game last Friday for 3 people plus me. And I got the book in the mail Wednesday. I didn't have any time to read it. And this is a week from this Friday, a week ago today, I ran it. And we had fun. It was real quick. We just did a real thing. The only complaint I have, and it's not really a complaint, the criticism I have is your hit points are kind of lacking as a first level character, as opposed to the critters that you face, where they all do 1d6 plus 1 damage or 1d6 damage, and as a player you're starting out with 1d6 hit points. I gave everybody max hit points. I gave everybody 6 or 7 depending on their class, because some of the classes get a 1d6 plus 1, and I gave them the max hit points, and then I figure after that they can level up. Is this a campaign game for my group? No. It's too soft. It's not enough crunch, and we're not a crunch group, but it's just not enough there. You can do a lot with it, and I think it's great for one-shots. Like if half the group bails on your whatever night game and you can't play, or you're going to cancel the game, break this out. You can whip up characters in 5 minutes. I mean, it's faster than Savage Worlds, and that's saying something, because I can spit out a Savage World character in under 10 minutes. So that's saying a lot for this game. You can literally whip out a character in under 10 minutes. I have no doubt about it. But if you need a quick game to play, I mean, do yourself a favor. Get at least the core book. I think it's $10 or even might even be less. I don't remember. Maybe $20 at most, but it's hardback. I mean, and it's really nicely done. The art, there's not a ton of art in it, but it's laid out pretty well. It's all black and white. There's a good shot of some of the art, and it looks nice. It's done pretty well. I mean, the layout, the art is consistent throughout the book. Those of you that follow my channel know that that's a huge pet peeve of mine. They do have different artists, and they use a lot of like stock art and just some basic, formatting. Like every chapter is preceded with this art, but it's consistent, so I don't have a problem with that. The charts are pretty easy to read. I mean, it's a light gray. It's a black and white, PDF basically converted to a hardback book. I don't have a problem with that, especially when it's done well. This book is going to hold up to a lot of play. So I'm not going to read the whole back of the box because I want you guys to go out and buy it. But it says, so ready your Star Sword and fire up your faster than light drive. The galaxy full of thrilling heroics is at your fingertips with White Star, the white box science fiction role-playing game. I mean, that sells it right there. And the nice part about this is if you don't like Fantasy Flight's rules, if you don't like the WEG system, because there's a lot of people out there that are still playing the D6 West End Games version of Star Wars. But if you don't like either one of those settings and you kind of like the D20 version, but it was too crunchy, this might be your thing. Because basically a Star Sword is nothing but a lightsaber. Star Knights are nothing but Jedis. And they have a hokey religion. I mean, it even says it. There's a lot of little anecdotal tropes in here, basically making fun or poking fun at other sci-fi games. And you got to read between the lines, but they're in there. And if you catch them, it's kind of cool. It kind of makes you go, "Oh yeah, that's pretty funny." Void Knights are basically the Sith or evil Jedi. So yeah, there's a lot here. You can play a robot, so you can have your C-3PO. You can have your robots, your Cyclops or Cylons from Battlestar Galactica, and your hot jockey pilots. I mean, it's all in here. It's very generic. You can make it as crunchy or as light as you want it to be. It's pretty light to start with, but there are some add-ons. The basic character classes, and we'll go through that a little bit, is the aristocrat, which is basically your noble or your fast talker, the mercenary, which is your gun for hire, your pilot, and a star knight. And those are your 4 character classes that you start with. And then you have races. You have an alien brute, which is just what it sounds like. You have an alien mystic, which is there's your fantastical races for your Jedis. You have a robot, and of course human is the basic. And then it goes into equipment and in playing the game, personal combat, starship combat, which actually was pretty well written. I liked it. It made a lot of sense the way they did it. And again, it's not too mechanics heavy. It's pretty light and easy to go. Gifts and meditation are your powers, your psychic powers, your Jedi powers, your magic powers, whatever you want to call them. And if you have access to any of the first edition D&D or any of that stuff, you easily port that stuff over with no problem. Chapter 8 is aliens and creatures. It gives you a bunch of different information on those. Chapter 9 is advanced equipment. One of the things I do like is you can get cyberware in this game. So you could even play a sci-fi cyberpunk game if you wanted to. Chapter 10 breaks down into White Star Campaign, Rebels Against the Regime, Explorers Amongst the Stars, Invasion, Brothers in Arms, Just Keep Flying, 1,000 Worlds, White Star and Swords, Wizardry, White Box, which is just basically a synopsis of what this is. So you got a bunch of different starting off campaigns or starting adventures that you can jump into and get your people playing. Chapter 12 is the Second Battle of Bryn, which is actually a full-blown adventure for you guys to do. There's a nice introduction that tells you a little bit about where it came from and its roots. It's basically off of the White Box of the world's oldest role-playing game, D&D. So it's very cool, man. It's well produced, like I said. There's the character sheet in the back, but go on to the White Star G Plus group, and there's a number of character sheets that are actually a lot better than this. They actually, the ones that I found actually have a breakdown of the powers by level, because it's a class-based system. So you get your pilot, and at level 1 he gets this, and he gets these saves. At level 2 he gets this, and so on. And then your Star Knight gets these powers. You start getting powers at second level, and then go on from there. So pretty cool. So that's really all you need. This is a game in a book, and again, I think right now it's on DriveThruRPG for pay what you want, so you can pick it up pretty darn cheap. There's no excuse. You can get it in a softback. I prefer hardback. I think it holds up a little bit better. The reviews I saw of the softback were really good, though, that it holds up really well. So excited. I like hardback, so I went with the hardback. So that's all you need to play. If you want to add more to it, you can, and that would be Book 2, again, written by James Spahn. And this is the White Star White Box Science Fiction Role-Playing Companion, and it's just that. So, and I'm not going to read the whole back because I find that really boring, and I don't think you guys want to listen to me droll on. But it says at the very bottom, it says, with the White Star Companion, you'll expand your game to the edge of the galaxy and beyond. White Star White Box Science Fiction Role-Playing is completely compatible with Swords and Wizardry White Box and many other old-school role-playing products. So Swords and Wizardry I don't know anything about, but evidently it's another hack of old-school D&D and the White Box. So, and it may actually be Swords and Wizardry White Box is the game. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. If anybody knows, please add some notes in the bottom there. Again, this was print on demand, and it's pretty solid. Hardback. Jason Moser did the cover art, which I really like on both books. I think it's really nicely done. He gives credits to all the artists. So again, we have the first thing we get into is an introduction, which is very nice. I haven't even read it. I literally just opened this. But we have classes, and it introduces a whole bunch of new classes. So we have our Bounty Hunter, Deep Space Explorer, Freed Assimilant. Oh, by the way, those of you that wanted to use this for Star Trek, totally can. The Assimilants are basically the Borg. So this one is a free Borg. So you could have your 7 of 9. The Nova Machina, which is basically Transformers. And yes, their very first power is called Rollout. There's subtle little things in there like that. That's actually not too subtle. Man of Tomorrow, which is basically your Buck Rogers. Plucky Sidekick, Two-Fisted Technician, Yabnabs, and then optional rules for multiclassing. Your Yabnabs are basically your Jawas or any small little race like that you want to use. And they're good at tinkering and doing little things. Then we get a whole bunch of starship and vehicles and different rules for that. Skills and serials, because in the white box or in White Star there are no skills. It goes off of whatever your bonus is for your attribute. It's just you just do it or you don't. So the GM says make a driving skill, you'd roll your dexterity, and you go from there. So, but in here they actually add skills, so you can get some skills. Aliens and creatures, they give you a couple new aliens and creatures. Chapter 6 is random encounters. Chapter 7 is the Sterling sector. This is cool because it gives you, I do have the PDF of this. Obviously, when I bought it, I got the PDF. But they give you the Sterling sector, which is a whole space sector that you could base your adventures in, which I thought was pretty cool. So it's only 7 chapters, 96 pages total. But again, well done. Let's see. Enhance your White Star science fiction experience with the official PDF supplements. So there's a whole bunch of different PDFs out there. I did see them. They're only going for a couple of bucks each. I didn't get them because I didn't need them. I don't plan on running this a whole lot. This is going to be a pickup game when my group can't all get together or we want to just do something different one night. I'm insane in the membrane, as the old saying goes, and so I can come up with adventures on the drop of a hat. Are they good adventures? Probably not. But my players keep coming back, so obviously I must be doing something right. So anyway, that's White Star, OSR, RPGing, the White Box Science Fiction Role-Playing Game by James M. Spahn. There's 2 books. There's a bunch of PDFs. It's available on Drive-Thru RPG right now. Like I said, it was pay what you want. I don't know if it still is. But you can't beat it, man. Hardback, 2 books. They're laid out really well. It's easy. You can just pick it up and start going with it. You don't even need to stress about it. There's monsters in here. There's everything you need, adversaries and things to break out with and play. So, and you've in the companion book, you've got a star sector, a whole galaxy basically, or a galaxy to play with and make up your own adventures. So, and there's a ton of stuff out there that's free. Your old 70s sci-fi magazines are still readily available, and a lot of them are PDF. Just Google them and you'll find them, and you can get a ton of adventures out of them. The old Shadis magazines had a bunch of stuff in them too. So you can, any of that old stuff is new again, as the old saying goes. So again, that's just my quick review. We're coming up on 20 minutes. I just wanted to do it because I really enjoyed running this as a one-shot. Like I said, we only played for a little bit. It was just to get a feel for the game. But I enjoyed it. It was fun, and I think the players liked it too. It is something that we would probably play again, like I said, as a one-shot when everybody can't make it. The books are small and light enough. I'd keep them in my backpack so that when I go to my game at our local game store, if people bail, I can just whip these out real quick. You don't even need character sheets. A piece of paper, scratch paper, hell, is all you really need. And roll some dice real quick, and you've got your attributes. You're good to go. So I'm going to say peace and hair grease, and I'm out as my Diet Cherry Coke is starting to warm up. And you guys have a great weekend. Again, next weekend I'll be at Etten Games in Humble running Conan, An Age Undreamed Of, as an official demo for Modiphius and to support Free RPG Day at Etten Games. So if you're in the area, come on out and play a game with me, and let's have fun. And remember, guys, be nice.